Here we are in Damascus, guys. 1 year later. We're a little bit late. Not too late, but we can go up there and check it out. There was a young lady down here doing a mural on the back of this a while back. I did not get to stop and get a picture of it, but
God, a year ago, they answered that call, and they came running, God. Gave up their time, many going out. I heard about Kermit yesterday. Someone was talking about how in 3 days, men didn't sleep. But that story that we told over and over and over again. So God, we praise you for people like that, for a community that comes together. And now, God, as we celebrate a year later, while there's still work to do, God, I pray that as a community, when people look at Damascus, they will see a community, a family that loves each other. They support each other. And God, we're not afraid to proclaim the fact that you brought us through the storm. You are our faith. You are our refuge. You are our strength. And God, most of all, I today personally say thank you for your son, Jesus Christ. And it's in his name that I pray. Amen.
Mr. Matlock back down here again.
Thank you. What a wonderful prayer. Welcome, everybody. Wow, what a day to reflect, to breathe, and to be grateful. Thank you so much for coming to share this day, to express the importance of community, family, friends, and neighbors. We are filled with warm hearts exploding with thankfulness. Hope floats. Town manager Chris Bell gave this event its name. Day 2 or 3 into the aftermath, volunteers were cleaning up debris, and one of the volunteers found an old VHS tape titled Hope Floats, a movie starring Sandra Bullock. This may not have been her best performance, they say, but the name stuck with Chris, and we agreed that it was very fitting. Post-Helene revival. Revival is an improvement in the condition or strength of something. As we gather on the anniversary of Helene, we celebrate courage, perseverance, hope, faith, spirit, community, and resilience. Helene came in with a vengeance, and she may have damaged and destroyed our structures, but she did not shatter our Appalachian Mountain virtues or our love for our town and the appreciation we have for each other and the beauty that surrounds us. Our hearts are forever filled with gratitude to Chris, who was a godsend as a town manager on the job for 2 months before Helene hit, and he has been an absolute rock star through this whole process. Yes. To Julie Kroll, our Parks and Rec Director. She's been amazing in all the things that she has set up and does, and the Facebook posts and the Instagram posts, and just an amazing asset to our town. Many thanks to her. Many, many thanks to our town staff, and to our chief, our maintenance department. They were amazing. Eduardo Arias did such a great job leading his team, and our chief Kermit Turner, and all the police and fire departments that came from everywhere to help us, the emergency rescue teams that came from everywhere to help us, the mutual aid agencies, the missionaries, and the volunteers that came from all over to help us. Thank you. Volunteers had over 20,000 volunteer hours. So friends and neighbors, thank you, thank you, thank you. To our incredible Governor Glenn Youngkin and his amazing personnel, to Senators Pillion, Kane, and Warner, to Delegate Israel O'Quinn, to Jason Berry, our County Administrator, VDAM, VDAC, Virginia Rapid Recovery, and all who have helped us to recover and rebuild. It would not be possible to name all of the people and the agencies, but if you helped in any way whatsoever, whatever that looks like, including the man who picked up the VHS tape, could you please stand or raise your hand? Thank you all so very, very, very much. It is because of you that we are where we are today. You embody hope that floats, and this day is for you and the gratitude we have for you. This day is for also for all the folks affected directly or indirectly by Hurricane Helene. We cannot thank you enough. So a few milestones here. The Virginia Creeper Trail will return hopefully the fall of 2026, and what a celebration that's going to be. Many thanks to the United States Forest Service and to the government for helping us get that back. That's the lifeline of Damascus, and we need her. Tony Miller and Trails to Recovery raised $1.7 million in private donations, completing nearly 100 home repairs and rebuilt 8 new homes for residents of Washington County. Route 58 is open thanks to VDOT. Highway 91 is open thanks to TDOT. And hope floats. Revival, the improvement in the condition or strength of something. Because of all of you, we nailed it.
Yeah, good job.
So thank you. I thought I was going to make it through this, God burn it. Anyway. At this time, I would like to introduce Mike Rush, our Board of Supervisors for the Taylor District, to come up and speak. Thank you.
Welcome everybody on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here, and thank you all who contributed to the success. I think that my friend Israel will say that other folks haven't had the same outcome. We have wonderful people who care about each other, and that's been the saving grace. But your local county government has been involved too. And I just want to say that Jason Berry was here every day for 32 days in a row when all this hit, and he is the architect of pass through $2.6 million into our community. That's a big deal, and there's nobody here to say that, so I want to say that. I also want to say that we were geniuses for hiring Tony Miller at the princely sum of nothing, and he spent 8 months earning nothing every day to make fabulous things happen. The county takes credit for that, but it deserves no credit for it. It's Tony Miller's character. We serve in the same church, and he has more character and skill with people than anybody. I wish he was here to take a bow, but he's on vacation. I'm going to end my comments right here and introduce to you the Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Commonwealth, Kelly G. If you'll come forward, Kelly.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelly G. and I have the pleasure of serving as Secretary of the Commonwealth for Governor Glenn Youngkin. And he was down here immediately in the aftermath, and he toured Damascus, he loved on our friends in Taylor's Valley, and he came home and he activated his cabinet immediately. Secretary of Public Safety, who oversees our friends at BDIM, we're on it. Our Secretary of Agriculture, we're working with our farmers. And it's important to have the funding and the programs and all of that, but there's a very human side to this. And that's where I got to play a very small role. We wanted to harness the energy of our faith community and our nonprofits and just the very charitable giving of the Virginians that were outside of this region that wanted to help but didn't know how. And we turned that into volunteer action days where we came and we planted grass seed and shared flowers and built free little libraries. We paired families with churches in other parts of the state because we know that recovery is not the day or the week after the flood. It takes a long time, and these people need companions to walk with them for the year of recovery. Because when you're staring at the worst thing that's probably ever happened to you, it's hard to see hope. But what Damascus has shown us is that there is no place where there is no hope. And I will look back on my time in the Youngkin administration, and this town of Damascus will have such an endearing part of my heart and my time in office, because I truly believe that if you live a life constantly looking for the good, you will live a life of praise and thanksgiving and joy, and I feel that deeply every time I come to this community. Thank you for welcoming us, and it's my pleasure to introduce Senator Tim Kaine.
Hello everyone. How nice to be together with you on this day to celebrate a community rebuilding after such a tragedy. I have been in Damascus so many times as a visitor because I love the Appalachian Trail, I love the Virginia Creeper Trail, I love the streams here. The first time I came was in 1987, and I have been here dozens of times to enjoy Damascus, but the single most memorable visit, and it will always be the most memorable visit, was when I came the Monday after Hurricane Helene had ravaged this town. And together with your mayor and your police chief and the officials from the governor's office and FEMA and Washington County and Damascus, I toured through town and saw the damage to homes and the damage to businesses. There were vehicles still stuck under bridges, and people were trying to get them out, not knowing whether there might be a body in those vehicles. And to be here a year later with you and to see, as I drove around this morning, and I came back in March to see Route 50 and how far you've come, it really does my heart very, very well. I just want to say one thing, to give thanks to two U.S. senators who really helped Mark Warner and me get $600 million, which will be sufficient to rebuild the Virginia Creeper Trail and also do some other work to protect public lands in this area. When I was here that day, I had an epiphany that said, we will battle to provide support for businesses, and we will battle to provide some support for homes and homeowners who lost their homes. But if we do that and we don't come up with funding for the George Washington National Forest or our national parks, our work will be in vain. We could open businesses, but without customers, those businesses will not be successful. So when I went back to Washington after that Monday, I said to Mark, others will be working to find support for businesses and homeowners, but we got to be the voice for reinvesting in our public lands like the George Washington National Forest and the parks in North Carolina and Virginia that were damaged, and try to get funds. And two U.S. senators, Patty Murray of Washington State and Susan Collins of Maine, both of whom are the leaders of the Appropriations Committee, we went up to them and said, we have two words for you, public lands. Businesses need help, homes and landowners need help, but the public lands need investments too to repair them. And both Maine and Washington have a lot of public lands, a lot of national forests and a lot of national parks, and they got it immediately. And so at year end last year, when we were trying to find the funds, Mark and I really had great support from these two senators from far away, not anywhere near Virginia, but they understood how important it was. And I know Senator Warner, who I spoke with yesterday, he's very glad that I'm here with you today. He wanted me to acknowledge we worked hard for it, but we had some colleagues who went to bat for Damascus and Southwest Virginia, even though they don't live anywhere near here. And that's what it takes. Katie, said it pretty well. It's a whole lot of people coming together and a whole lot of work, and a whole lot of work still to be done, but we'll be together until it's done. And now I want to introduce your delegate. He has been coming to Damascus his whole life, and he's represented Damascus since he was elected to the House of Delegates in 2011, finishing his 7th term right now. Please give a big round of applause to Delegate Israel Apun.
Well, good afternoon. It's great to be able to be here with you today. Over the last few weeks, I've been thinking a lot about September the 27th of 2024 and what that looked like. And I've been doing this job long enough to have been through several natural disasters over the years and know the devastation and the length of recovery that it takes to get through something like this. And I know that we all felt a lot of despair on not only the 27th, but the 28th and in the weeks after that. But what you got to see in action was something that you don't see very often, and that is the federal, state, and local government working together hand in hand the way that we're supposed to for the betterment of the areas that we represent. And you not only got to see that, but then you got to see that all three levels of government come together to fund the recovery efforts that are going to be necessary for us all to get through this. So what you've seen is a remarkable recovery over the last 12 months. You were starting to see huge gains within 6 or 7 months. All the homes that have been rebuilt, the millions of cubic yards of dirt and debris that's been moved, bridges rebuilt. It's been a fantastic and remarkable thing to be able to watch. But in the end, government can do certain things, but it really does take a community behind it for it to all click. And here in Southwest Virginia, for decades and decades and decades, since the 1700s, we have all figured out that we have to stick together and that we all have to come to our neighbor's need, and that's exactly what happened. So a few weeks ago, I had a reporter ask me, are you surprised at how quickly this recovery has progressed? And I said, in a literal term, yes, I am, because of the amount of work that had to be done, because of the amount of devastation that had to be rectified. But in a more literal sense, it doesn't surprise me at all, because when you know the people of Southwest Virginia, the heart of Southwest Virginia, and the spirit of helping your neighbors, it doesn't come as a surprise whatsoever. The Southwest Virginians pitched in to help one another, and that's what you got to see in real time, and that's why we are where we are today. So you can't say enough for all that our community's done, all of our public safety agencies, everyone in elected office. There was no territorialism, there was no fighting, and that's how we worked our way through this. And so we appreciate all of you. We appreciate all the business owners who are still here, still plugging along. We can't wait to get the Creeper Trail reopened, and I know we're all looking forward to that. And that's going to be the cherry on top of the sundae, and we can't be any more excited about that. So without further ado, I'll welcome to the stage someone who is the one who's helping to oversee all the Creeper Trail rebuild, Ed Wright from the U.S. Forest Service. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Quinn. Thank you, Mayor Lamb, Senator Chan. Even before the storm, the employees of the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area felt a deep connection to this town and the community of Taylor's Valley. Though many towns surround me in our rec, this forest community is different. The forested mountains that surround Damascus, the creeks that flow through her heart, are part of the being of its citizens. They are a part of our being as well. To take care of these mountains, or to care for these mountains, is to care for the town of Damascus and its people. After the storm, the bond we feel with this town, with the community of Taylor's Valley, is stronger than ever. Our obligation of service is deeper, and our commitment is more enduring. The self-reliant endurance of this town and Taylor's Valley, the kindness with which you treat your neighbors, the capability and passion of your public servants, inspires us to be better, and it steels our resolve. Our obligations to this town are many, not least of which is that rail trail behind you over there. For our employees, all trails lead to this town, and it is here that our mission resides. We are in this town's corner for the long term, side by side, and we cannot fail to meet that commitment. a mineral prospector in 1904 named this town after the famous Syrian city where for 1,000 years some of the finest steel in the world was forged. But the iron in these mountains is not of that quality. At best, it makes treating water hard. But the name is still apt. This town and its people are made of iron. And it is our honor to work beside you. Until the job is done. And it's never done. The job of taking care of our public lands is never done. So you're stuck with us. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce Jeff Kinder from Trails to Recovery.
Well, it's hard to believe that it's been a year ago, but what God has done through this year is remarkable. What God has used His people to do is truly remarkable. I wore a couple different hats through this process. I am actually with Impact Missions, and we work storms all over the U.S., and that's part of our mission as Virginia Baptists that we do. And of course, I pastor Rosedale Baptist just over the hill in Rosedale, Virginia, and this was kind of in our back door. And so I tell them I got roped in to Trails of Recovery, and I was so hesitant to do it, but once we got into it, I'm so glad I was a part of it, because being part of a group that has done such amazing things is truly amazing. I was over the residential part. They asked me to be the chair of the residential, and I had some people that worked with me as caseworkers. And by the time I come on board, they were already selected. We had John and Reba Roberts over in Alvarado, Shelley Altizer here in Damascus, Nita Lewis over in Taylor's Valley, and Miss Little over in Green Cove, and they were already working. And they were the boots on the ground. And so we got to, through Trails Recovery, kind of organize the volunteers and be a part of that. And of course, the Impact Missions set up at One Way Ministries, and so thankful for that church opening their doors. And literally, we've been taking over their church for a year. We've been living there. And each week we had, on average, 50 volunteers from outside throughout Virginia coming in to serve here in Damascus. And it's just been amazing. As you've already heard, there's been 91 homes that have been worked on, 8 homes that we've been able to build from the ground up thanks to Mennonite Disaster Relief Services, and those guys are amazing. They came in and stayed at the Camp of History just up the road. It just seemed like every door that we went to, it opened. And that's by God's design. That's by His grace. So I'm thankful for all the volunteers that done the hands-on labor. I'm thankful for Impact Missions and those of you that have come from all across the state to work here in Damascus, for Mennonite Disaster Services that came, for the board members that serve on Trails to Recovery. And man, what a board that has been. We had some big hitters on that board, and people that knew people that knew people. And that's what it takes. But I want to say thank you, and I know we oftentimes look at the separation of church and state in a lot of ways, but for me, I want to say thank you to our government agencies. I truly mean that. From the governor's office, allowing us to work with them. We were, the red tape that I've seen throughout this country as we work different disasters can be quite extensive, and we didn't have that here. And we were able to cut through some of the red tape, and we were able to do some of the things that the government is not allowed to do. And I think that's what it's going to take, is for the faith community to come in where the government can't. And that's okay. And that's why we work together. So I'm thankful for these men and women that sit behind me that represent us in their respective jobs, in their respective positions. And I'm thankful for a government at this time that we have great respect for, and that we can work together to see the good of the people, and that's what it's all about. And I'm so thankful, and I'm so amazed at every storm that I've ever worked. from Texas to Carolinas to Puerto Rico to Damascus, when you go in, you see people that are hopeless. They don't know where to turn. They don't know what the next call is. They don't know the next person they need to talk to. They don't know what to do. And to see that hope come back to a community, that's why we're here today, because hope does float. And it floated that day through Damascus, and we have built back stronger and better than ever before. Thank you for allowing us to work. Thank you for allowing us to do our mission and our ministry here in Damascus. And just thank you for allowing me to be a part of that. It's my privilege and honor to introduce to you from Highlands Community Services, the Virginia Disaster Assistance Team, Cadence Miller as the director. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Candace Miller. I'm the Director of Crisis Services at Highlands Community Services, also overseeing the Virginia Disaster Assistance Team that has been embedded in this community for a year now. Today we gather not only to remember the flood that changed our town 1 year ago, but also to honor the strength and resilience that has carried us through. The days and weeks after the disaster were filled with shock, loss, and uncertainty. Yet through it all, our community showed extraordinary courage, compassion, and unity. Over the past year, we have walked together on the long road of recovery. Neighbors helping neighbors, first responders standing strong, and so many of you reaching out to support one another. Healing has not always been easy, but it has been possible because we faced it together. As we mark the anniversary, let us take a moment to remember what we have endured, to acknowledge the grief that still lingers, and to celebrate the resilience and the hope that got us forward. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for continuing to care for one another, because together we'll keep moving forward from survival to strength. I want to take a moment to introduce Olivia Amberg, one of our team leads with the Virginia Disaster Assistance Team. Hello. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us in the town and the surrounding communities. We're very grateful that we've been welcomed with open arms. And I'll recognize some of our staff members that are over there with VDOT. They have been the ones that have been out on the ground, going to houses, knocking on doors, coming to businesses, putting together some activities. And it's an honor that we've been able to do that. We appreciate the opportunity. We have ice cream over there. It's free. It was donated by KVAT. And there's also some resources over there related to anniversary disaster reaction. And if you want to speak to anyone while you're here, we've got staff available as well. I just want to thank everyone for welcoming us in, and we'll give it back to Katie.
So just have a couple of closing remarks, and to let you know that we have a rubber ducky race. It's free. So the race will begin at 4:30. The ducks will be dropped in the river, and if you want to watch your duck, you can go to Trestle 16 and watch your duck win the race. You can pick up your card number for your duck over here at the fire department tent. And that will begin at 4:30 right over there. Also, there was a rock painted by me that has the logo for the Hope Floats that you see down here, somewhat similar to that, that we hid somewhere in this park, and the person who apparently has already found the rock wins a prize. So we just want you to know that Damascus is open, so please come. We invite you to spend the day, the weekend, or even the week exploring Trailtown, USA. Your support is vital to our ongoing recovery. Many thanks to all of our guest speakers. They've all been a big help in the recovery rebuild for us, and we're just very grateful for them. So can we give them a round of applause? We're grateful for all the agencies and the attendees and all of you that came to help us and support us. Thank you so much for coming. More importantly, thank you so much for caring. And before I make announcements of other things to come, we have some Mennonite folks here that actually were the volunteers that rebuilt the 8 homes and repaired the 100 homes at no cost to the homeowners. So let's give those people a round of applause. Some more upcoming events that we have is the October 3rd and 4th Festival of Miles, which will be right here in the park. There'll be free music, a running, walking event. People are going to run for 3, 6, and I don't know, 9 or 12 hours. That's amazing to me. And October the 31st, we have our trick or treat throughout town. The first Friday in December is a Trail Town Christmas Parade. President Robert F. Kennedy said, "The purpose of life is to contribute in some way to make things better." You are all responsible for making things better. Job well done, good and faithful servants. Today, let's take a moment to reflect, to breathe, and express gratitude. I love all of you. God bless. And now let's eat some ice cream.
You going for the duck race?
Not very long.
Well, they are getting ready to do a duck race down here. We're not going to be able to stay. I'll never get this video out if we stay. But also, looks like somebody might be getting ready to get poured on. And I don't want it to be me. I would have to say it's probably a good thing we didn't stay for the duck race.
But I wanted to race a yellow ducky. We'll have to do it on another day.